This is my story of how I got into photography. So real quick disclaimer, this video is going to be a journey, so bear with me please. I started photography in high school, and no, I did not take any classes on how to do photography, but I was interested in learning how to do photos. I remember coming across Peter McKinnon, and Pete, if you're watching this, dude, what's up? And I remember him talking about iOS, aperture, and shutter speed. And at the time, my brain was overwhelmed. I could not comprehend. I'm like, dude, what's ISO? What's aperture? What's freaking shutter speed? Is that the thing that goes like that? Like, I didn't know anything. And I was like, what does this mean? What is this? Bro, I just want to take photos. Sorry. Summer came and I tested out a bit of mobile photography. At the time, I did not have this because that phone didn't come out yet. I had the iPhone 7 Pro Plus, whichever one, the Plus, and I was using Moments mobile photography, which meant that I can take everything that's in here, place it in here, and do the exact same thing that I was learning but on this. By the way, this is not sponsored, but if you haven't checked out Moments app, you should check out the Moment app. It has everything from aperture, ISO, exposure, shutter, being able to set timers, being able to shoot in 4K, HD, shoot RAW, shoot TIFF, shoot JPEG, all these types of things. Go check it out. Motion blur, light trails, everything. Yes. Yes. Fast forward into freshman year of college, and I was barely getting my toes wet. I started taking a few classes to understand better exactly what I was holding in my hands at the time, and I was just wanting to learn. So later, I started grinding. I studied and I learned as much as I could to be that photographer, and then finally it hit me. I started to crave to be where everybody else was. I saw him and her making this and that, and I was like, can I get the spotlight for even a second? So later I got into a spiral of just trying to be like everybody else and not who I was meant to be in that creative space. And I was eventually becoming who I never wanted to be in the first place. Once I started to find my own pace and my own groove and a space where I could be me, I kept that and did everything to develop that. So I did. I remember in college committing to projects that would take, that I thought in my mind, maybe like 1 to 2 days. And if you know anything about doing projects, sometimes they take about 4 to 5 days, and that comes with planning, that comes with pre-production, models, location, shooting, like post-production to it, and then eventually sending it to your clients and getting everything ready, and this can take a whole like 4 to 5 days, sometimes weeks and months. And then I started getting into this mindset of, because I had a deadline and I was trying to cram everything into one tiny space of time, I was either completing it with half done or 90% done, and that sucked because I was never fully satisfied with my work. Recently I was watching a YouTube video from a YouTuber named Mark Bone, and I'll link his channel down here or up here, and he said this perfectly, and I quote, "I'm not saying be a pessimist, I'm saying be a realist, because you have to be realistic with your time, or else you're always going to be giving it out and never receiving any rest." That sound familiar? To the college kids, the high schoolers who are trying to prove themselves to somebody, or maybe you're not even trying to prove yourself to anybody, or even yourself. Maybe you just want to make dope content and just try and push yourself. It's okay to push yourself, but you need time to rest, you need time to breathe, and you need to give yourself realistic time. Doing a project and then like something that's big in a day or two, yeah, that might take like the actual doing it, but like the planning and then the after and then delivering and maybe even showcasing sometimes doesn't fit in a day or two. Another quote is this: "Work from a place of rest, not work to get rest." This is real for me. I was trying so hard at that time, sometimes even now sometimes, to find myself, that even after I found a piece of myself, I kept grinding and never giving myself that time to actually just breathe. If you're pushing and going and going and going and going, and you're on this never-ending cycle, and you feel like either you're lacking or your quality of work is lacking, you're trying to pump out 1, 2, 3 pieces of content a single day, that's not healthy. And you notice that not even going anywhere, you notice that if it is going anywhere, it's going down the drain because of just lack of quality of whatever it is that you're making. Maybe learn to take a step back, like boop, look at your work, examine it, hold it in front of you, and ask yourself, what needs to change? Am I okay? Am I taking care of myself? Is my mental state okay? Am I solid in my emotions? Is there any area of improvement that needs to be addressed at this very moment? Is there a way that I can be uncomfortable, but know that in my uncomfortability, slowly I'll get comfortable with that which is challenging to me, and actually grow and learn and mature in that? And once you have these answers, or maybe at least more of like a general idea for how to answer those questions, you eventually start to get clarity, and you can finally rest knowing you have direction again. And once you have direction, you'll start to get a vision. For me, that vision soon became what is called compiling a bunch of photos seamlessly together and making it into something that lasts in time, something that doesn't just stop for the moment like a photo does. When you take a photo, you hear that shutter and you hear and it's captured in that millisecond of time. But when you take those milliseconds of time, you compose them all together, you squish them all together, you get what's video. And I'll share that story with you in another video. Peace.